tell you that life is a game. There's players, and there's spectators. Spectators are telling the players, man, you could have done this, you should have done this, how come you didn't do this? But players are actually in the game. They're making the big moves, they're catching those big plays, and they're making things happen. I could tell that everyone in this room, you guys are players. Because you didn't have to be here, you didn't have to enroll in the EPI program and get all this and spend all this extra time learning and doing lunches and seminars and workshops. But you did it because you knew what was the investment. You were investing your time because you had a goal. You had something that you were aiming for. Now, who here wants more money in their pocket? Say aye. Aye. Who here would like to be more attractive, better looking, build healthy relationships? Say aye. Aye. All right. And someone back there saying, yeah, aye. And who wants to have a good time while doing all that? Say aye. Aye. Okay, perfect. Well, I'm just like you. I want to have success just like you. I want to have money in my pocket. I want to build great relationships, and I want to have fun. Well, tap the person to your right and say, you are very lucky to be here today. Now to your left, tap that person and say, you're very lucky to be here today. The fact is that I'm very lucky to be here today in front of you guys and honored to present. Because I never thought this moment would come. I never thought that I would be walking into college and actually taking college classes. I remember back my senior year of high school. At that moment, I decided, you know what, this wasn't the life for me. I needed to go back to school because I had a dream of one day being a CEO of Fortune 500, and that wasn't going to happen. I had a mentor during that transition, and one of the first things my mentor told me is, Jeff, I want you to write 100 goals. And I looked at him, 100 goals? Are you real? Like, I don't know. I know a couple of things, but I really, 100 goals? Are you kidding me? So I started writing, being the smart addict that I am, I'm like, goal number 1, write 100 goals. Goal number 2, think of the third goal to write on this list. And I kept going, but as I started thinking of the things that I really wanted, things just started coming. I said, I want to be the CEO of Fortune 500. I want to graduate college at the top of my class. I want to be accepted to the top business programs in the United States of America. I want to travel the world. I want to go to Brazil. I want to go to Italy. I want to help my community. I want to give back. I want to make sure that people know that I'm leaving something behind. I want to be able to provide to my mom and never have to see her worry and with that face of desperation because she was having a tough time making ends meet. So all that was ammunition. All that gave me that drive, that motivation to go out there and really do. He's an older gentleman, kind of picking stuff up, throwing it back in the ocean, picking stuff up. And so the younger man gets closer and then sees what he's doing, and he's actually throwing starfishes back into the water. And the reason that the starfishes are outside is because when the high tide comes in and the low tide goes out, these starfishes are left on the sand and they die. After a couple hours, they die because they need to be in the water. So the young man knows this, and he says, old man, what are you doing throwing these starfishes back into the water? I mean, there's hundreds of starfishes out here, and you're not going to make any difference at all. So why even bother? So the old man, unfazed, continues, picks up a starfish, throws it back into the water, and says, I just made a difference to that one. So when you're going through life, yes, you have this big picture, whether it's an eye doctor, whether it's a physician, whether it's a businessman, you have this vision of who you want to be and what you want to accomplish. But along the way, don't forget about the small things as well. The small things that make a difference. And did what his gut said and gave him a compliment and got to know him, he was able to stop that from happening. So in life, just think about it. Sometimes you're working, you're doing your job, and someone just gives you a very sincere compliment. And when that person walks away, don't you see a change in your attitude, right? Like you get a little happier, there's more pep in your step. And remember to do that to other people. Whether it's in line at McDonald's and you see someone that's really working hard back there, why not just extend to them a compliment? Say, wow, I see how hard you're working. Keep up the great job. Simple words like that could turn around someone's day. So throughout this journey of yours, from now to your career to your successful professional lives, remember that. Extend to those people. It's not all about you. How can you give back? How can you give back to your study and get the best they can for this final coming up. So the students walk into the auditorium, professor's at the front of the class, and there's a sheet of paper on each, the final on each of the students' desk. And the professor says, look, I never do this, but I'm going to do this today. I can let you guys walk out of here. Don't take the final, and I'll give you an automatic seat in your class. So the students are looking at each other like, man, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I mean, I see I'll pass, and definitely that's gonna help me out. Because otherwise, if I take this test, I risk getting an F, and I'm gonna fail. So like half the class, more than half the class leaves the classroom, and they're like excited, like yeah, free grade, free C, I'll take it. So the professor's like, okay, you guys are still left. Go ahead and turn over your test and get started. And they turn over the test and says, congratulations for believing in yourself. You just got an automatic A. So it goes to the point that you have to believe in yourself. Sometimes the chips are stacked against you, and you're overwhelmed, and you feel like, man, how can I accomplish this? Remember that. You have to believe in yourself. You could get so many things accomplished if you just make a plan, work on your plan, set goals, motivate those around you, give back. And if you're ready to go out in the world now and get a job, say yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, you guys, you're fired. No. Seriously, if you guys are ready to go out there and get a career and get started and be successful, say yes.
Yes.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And for me, this graduation is actually more important than the graduation that when you get your undergrad, when you get your bachelor's or your master's, because how many of you guys in this room know someone who got a degree and still can't find a job? Right? It happens, right? Well, this program has given you the tools, has given you the guidance to go out there and be the best. Not only do you have your degree when you graduate, but you're going to have this program under your belt that's going to separate you from that competition that's going out there for that same position that you want. So once again, let's give each other a round of applause for completing this program.